Hello again. I'm Catherine, the hipster gardener, and I wanted to tell you what's been going on. I've been in this funk. Now, funk may mean something different today, but when I was younger, it was basically sort of like a depression. Not really as bad as depression, but it's definitely further along than the I don't want us. Okay? So, um, what I've discovered is that for most of my life, I've been in a funk, just managed to avoid it sometimes. So, in the last year, I've been gathering tools to actually get out of the funk. So, I wanted to talk to you about those tools a little bit. So, what I've discovered about this funk is that I have been adding meaning to things. And that's what we do, isn't it? I've been feeling things. Now, today, a very popular phrase, and it's probably been around for a while, but it's become very popular, is an empath. I'm an empath, which means that I take on the emotions of other people. So, with the tools that I've been acquiring, I've been able to separate my emotions from somebody else's emotions. So now I have these two piles of emotions. And I look at the ones first that are other people's. Why am I taking on these emotions? How silly is that, right? So I write those emotions down on a piece of paper, just a little scrap, and I crumple them all up and I either throw them in the dumpster or I burn them. And that's my physical way of saying, these aren't mine. Just get rid of them. Why am I holding on to somebody else's emotions, somebody else's attachments? Then I turn to the ones that are truly mine. And I've discovered that as human beings, that we are constantly in our head, we're judging, assessing, assuming. By what I mean by that is we do that with ourselves, we do it with other people. Someone's standing a certain way that's in a group with us and they have a certain look on their face. We judge and assess and assume that they're thinking something about us because after all, we are a self-centered, selfish creature, aren't we? So, so that's the same thing happens with situations that rise in your life. You make assumptions, you assess and you judge, and then you tell yourself, this is what it means for me. Now, emotions are really not a tangible physical thing that you can put in your hand. You can't hold it. You can't hold anger in your hand and show it to everybody. No, but it does have a physical response. So if you think about what you're feeling, what's going on inside your body when you're furious about something, when you're sad about something, that's what emotions show up like. But emotions aren't real things in and of themselves. They are what we tell ourselves they are. We give them a meaning, and our meaning may not be the same as somebody else's meaning. Being furious for one person, maybe you're just sullen and quiet. For another person, they're throwing things, they're pounding people. I mean, it gets crazy. So, I've been looking at the meanings of why I feel those emotions. And I've discovered that what is really happening is that it's triggered something. If someone has a look on their face or they have brought up some creation of some chaos that they've made, it triggers something that happened in my past. And now I make it mean the same thing. And probably it doesn't mean the same thing. But regardless, it's a meaning that I've put on whatever's happened on the other side of a fence with somebody else, what they've said, what they've done, how they look. And really, unless I say so, none of that has anything to do with me. It has everything to do with what they said is what they said. What they did is what they did. And it doesn't matter. What I choose to have it, how I choose to have it affect me is how it is. And I can say, enough is enough. And I start changing. I've been changing the way that I speak about those things. That happened. They did this. I did this. Done. Can't change it. Can't go back and change it around. So you start changing the way you talk about it, the way you speak about it, even if it's in your own head, especially if it's in your own head, because your head can get you all twisted up and bent over. So I've been changing the way that I speak about these things and discovered that they no longer have a power. And I can now set them aside and really, for the first time ever, to really step out of it and say, it no longer has an effect in my life. And I can go back to being who I want to be, behaving the way I want to behave, and doing the things that I want to do because I say so. Not because somebody else did something or somebody else said something. So it got me to thinking, though, what would it look like if we all started doing that sort of thing? Started taking a look at here when there's chaos and we're yelling at chaos, expecting to be heard. So what if we stop yelling at the chaos, take a look here, see what that action or those words have triggered in us, and take a look at that and say, we don't have to let it mean that. What if we stepped out of our own little cubicle of what we say our world is and step into another one's world and take a look around? We might think, oh my gosh, they experienced the same thing that I did. Or this happened to them almost the same way it happened to me. I mean, no situation is going to be identical, but they're going to be similar. And now you have a connection with that person. And if they step into your world and see the connection there, you just might have a access to each other and stop yelling and actually communicate, to listen to what they're really concerned about. And you may discover that they're truly concerned about the same things you are. Wouldn't that be a surprise? So if we stop yelling at the chaos, screaming at what can't be heard, and actually stop and look around and connect to the other person and actually see that we can actually come up with a solution that is workable for both of us. I'm just saying, what would the world look like if we all stopped yelling at chaos and created something that could actually work to speak to all of our concerns, which are all pretty similar? I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on this? What would it look like for you if we could do that as a race, as a human race? So, I'm Catherine, the Hipster Gardener, and if you have any concerns, any likes, share them in the comments. Subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Share it around. Go to my Facebook page, Hipster Gardener, and follow me on YouTube, Instagram. And we'll talk again. So you have a great day. Ta-ta!